Imagine you have to team up with Chuya and Dazai in a challenge that require balancing on a high platform, and Dazai tries to convince you to jump off together because it's more fun that way. Chuya, on the other hand, is trying not to throw Dazai off the platform. The scenario is that you're suddenly thrown into a reality TV show where the goal is simple: survive the ultimate team competition. And the twist is that you have to pair up with the duos from Bungo Stray Dogs at random. This means that you'll be facing challenges, sabotage, and mind games while trying to win. Can you make it out alive? Or at least with your sanity intact? Probably not. The first one you're going to team up with is Atsushi and Okutagawa. They're both incredibly competitive, but in the weirdest way possible. Okutagawa will probably want to power through the challenge, while Atsushi will be worrying about the safety of the group. The challenge is of a rally race. Okutagawa will constantly be demanding that you both should run faster, while he himself is out of breath. Meanwhile, Atsushi will apologize for tripping over a rock that won't even be there, and ends up carrying both you and Okutagawa on his back. You cross the finish line in third place, but considering the chaos you just witnessed, it feels like a win. Next, you have Dazai and Kunikida. We know that Kunikida takes everything too seriously, refusing to do anything unless his notebook confirms the best method. Dazai, of course, will probably grab the notebook and turn it into an aeroplane, leaving you to figure out what Kunikida had written before it flew away. And after beating the shit out of Dazai, Kunikida will plan out everything again, and you will end up following every single step he had written down to solve the puzzle challenge. While Dazai, who will never stop bothering Kunikida or learn from his silly mistakes, ties his shoelace together. You failed in that challenge because by the time your team finished, it was a bit too late. Sigma and Nikolai. Considering Sigma's personality, he will be stressed out the entire time, while Nikolai will keep on turning everything into a joke. It's a cooking challenge and Nikolai makes the entire thing into a circus act. Sigma, on the other hand, will try to save the team by making an actual dish. But unfortunately, Nikolai has swapped out half of the ingredients with some random things, just to see what happens. You end up with the most bizarre meal that somehow, by a miracle, still wins. Next, the genius duo, Rampo and Poe. When you join Rampo and Poe, it's a battle of brains. It's a fact that Poe is a genius, but he's constantly imitated by Rampo's effortless deduction. You obviously feel like odd one out. It's a escape room challenge, and in the starting, Poe will solve many clues to get out of the lock room, while Rampo eats some sugar snack that Poe have given him to keep him occupied, because he wanted to prove himself and wanted to be the one to get the team out of the room. Sadly for him though, Rampo will probably start craving more snacks and solve the last clues within minutes, just so he could get out. You would probably won by high marks, but you're also left trying to console Poe as he drowned himself into self-doubt while Rampo walks out completely oblivious. Next up, we have Tacho and Juno. Juno's sixth sense immediately makes the team very interesting. He's able to hear the other teams, giving you an advantage in the challenge. Tacho, on the other hand, is weirdly calm and focused on the fair play. Juno will keep smirking at you, knowing what's coming next, but doesn't utter a word, while Tacho somehow keeps getting on his nerve with his loud-ass whispers. You're all caught up between them, and suddenly their whispers will turn into argument, leading your team to be exposed. Next team you're teaming up with are Atsushi and Kyoka, who are thankfully the calmest team so far. The three of you will have to survive a haunted house challenge, but Atsushi is more scared than either you or Kyoka. He jumps at every little noise while Kyoka remains focused. At some point, Atsushi will try to reassure both of you, but end up screaming while the cardboard ghost appears, while Kyoka hesitantly takes down the ghost with her demon snow. And you find yourself wondering how the hell you end up babysitting the tiger of the group. Next up, we have Chuya and Okutagawa. You know, if these two are on the same team, things are going to be pretty intense. Both of them are super aggressive during a physical challenge, throwing themselves into it like it's a battlefield. Okutagawa will be staring into the opponent's eyes, while Chuya goes in for pure force. It's a dodgeball game, and both of them will start treating the opposing team as it's an actual mafia fight. They will most likely ask you to hide behind them as they rain destruction on everyone else, clearing out any chances of losing. Now we have Fyodor and Dazai. Teaming up with Fyodor and Dazai feels like signing up for a chess match where you're the only one playing checkers. The two of them are constantly scheming, with Fyodor offering cryptic advice that frankly you can't seem to understand, and Dazai, who actually understands it, keeps encountering it with sarcasm. You try to keep up with their mental games, but you clearly can't, as they sound like they're speaking gibberish to you. Still, they answer every question flawlessly, and you soon realize that each answer is somehow an insult aimed at the other. You just watch with your jaw on the floor as they psych each other out while you barely answer anything. Still, you won that challenge by the first place. Kikuzawa and Mori. The moment you're with Fukuzawa and Mori, it feels like you're caught up in power struggle. Though the floor is lava challenge doesn't really require power at all. And you'll end up thinking how the hell you got into this challenge with this team. At first, Fukuzawa will try to strategize calmly, insisting on moving from platform to platform, while Mori goes for more manipulative approach, trying to throw off the other team while moving swiftly. This will lead to the team nearly losing. So in the end, they both will decide to push you so at least you can win, but you'll probably end up falling on your face into the lava, the floor. Tsuya and Dazai. You're teamed up with the famous Devil Black duo. It should probably be easy, right? Well, not so much. As soon as the tug of war starts, Dazai will pretend that he's too mentally exhausted to even try and will try to sneak off. While Tsuya, who was ready to give it his all, will not be having it. So he will start yelling at Dazai to get back and pull the rope. Dazai being Dazai will just laugh and make sarcastic comment, making Tsuya even more angry. After a few minutes of yelling, Dazai doing absolutely nothing and you barely surviving, Tsuya will finally have enough and he will use his gravity powers to pull both of you across the line, whether Dazai is ready or not. In the end, you win the challenge, but it's all thanks to Tsuya's strength and Dazai just chilling. You'll be forced to wonder how they ever worked together in the Port Mafia. Nikolai and Fyodor, the crazy and the crazier. With Fyodor's strategic mind and Nikolai's love for chaos, you know this team becomes the wild card. As always, Nikolai will keep turning the challenge into fun times, while Fyodor play the long game, creating plots that leave everyone confused, including yourself. It's the Three Musketeer challenge, but with this pair, all for one quickly turns into every man for himself. Still, in the end, Fyodor's long-term strategy wins the day, as the team falls apart due to Nikolai's chaos. You're left wondering who the true mastermind is, Fyodor or Nikolai. Either way, you end up victorious, though not without a few bruises to your sanity. The next duo you're teaming up with is Ango and Oda. With Ango's cool logic and Oda's calm demeanor, this team is strangely peaceful, even more than Atsushi's and Kyoka's one. But the challenge of Among Us is not very suitable for this team, that somehow lack a bit communication. Ango is constantly analyzing everything himself, while Oda's relaxed nature helps keep the things grounded. But soon it leads to him getting voted out because he was a bit too calm, and you wonder if he got caught knowingly as it was time for him to go home. Soon you will get thrown under the bus by Ango, who will say it's for the greater good, as he blames you for his kill. Now, even though you will probably be super angry, but at least you won't, right? Now, the last team, Rampo and Fukuzawa. So you're teaming up with Rampo again, who is done with the snacks and is completely uninterested in participating in any physical challenge. He will be laying around somewhere in the shades and will somehow still solve everything without lifting a finger. Fukuzawa will offer you wise advice and guidance and give you a chance to do everything yourself so that you can learn. You're pretty sure Rampo is the brain behind the operation, though he's content to let you handle the heavy lifting. Literally. So you follow the instruction Rampo gives you by looking at the cube for 2 seconds, and of course, he refused to explain how he solved it. However, the producers think that you're all genius, but you're not even sure what just happened. That was it. I hope you enjoyed these dumb scenarios. I really enjoyed making them. Tell me your favorite duo from this anime. Take care of yourself and goodbye.
And the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change.